as you guys can see, that is Malik Scott once again talking and responding to Deontay Wilder. Now, this is his response to people that blame him for Deontay Wilder not being a killer anymore. And he's saying, imagine how would he feel? And I think what Malik Scott was saying, I think he was responding to the idea that Deontay Wilder is not a killer no more, on top of him being the reason that he's not a killer no more. Okay, so when you're dealing with Deontay Wilder, like the savagery, the yelling, and like the aggressive, tall, mad, mean, I want a body in the ring, bars type of fighter like Deontay Wilder, you have to really look at those things, okay? If I was Malik Scott and I heard people blame me as a trainer that I'm the reason that Deontay Wilder's not a killer no more, I would definitely have to it would be in my best interest to prove everybody wrong. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing. It's either Malik Scott doesn't believe that Deontay Wilder doesn't have it anymore, and if he believes that, that's one thing. But I think what Malik Scott needs to do, Malik Scott needs to take Deontay, sat him down. That's even if Deontay wants to talk to anybody right now. Because, he's been dealing with a lot of stuff because, of course, his ex was granted that restraining order. So, he may not want this at this point in time. But I think at some point in time, Deontay Wilder needs something to focus on. And Malik Scott does a lot of interviews with people, so his face is in the tabloids. His face and and he's out there. He's doing these interviews. So, he has a word. And I think he needs to do more than just talk. I think he's a boxing historian. I think he respects and loves a lot of fighters and the pedigree and all that stuff. But at no point should he be saying stuff like he said. And you guys know that it came off that he's not a fighter. He's not a killer no more. And I think what it is, if you went over there to congratulate Zilly Zhang like you did, you should just appreciate there's more than one killer. Most killers get killed by other killers. So to say that Deontay Wilder is not a killer no more, and I'm the reason for it, first of all, I need to check myself and understand, like, if I was the reason for that, if I haven't been training Deontay Wilder to be more aggressive, instead of I've been trying to turn him into a carbon copy of myself, I need to change the narrative. And I think that's what Malik Scott needs to do. Everyone's saying that Deontay Wilder needs to retire, but understand this. Deontay Wilder was thrown in there with guys that have been active, with guys that are very high on the totem pole, okay? Those guys like that he was fighting. He wasn't fighting guys that he probably should have been fighting. Now, here's the irony of Wilder. Wilder spent his career, a portion of his career at Golden Boy. Then the rest of it was PBC, Showtime, Fox, right? And those fighters that he fought weren't the type of fighters that put his name in the papers. It just gave him another KO. His record, okay, was the only thing that really stood out with him. 30 wins, 30 KOs. You're like, okay, who the hell is this guy? You know what I mean? And then you start looking deeper, and then you're like, well, who the hell has he fought? Okay, well, those were the things that crippled and hurt him through his career. But just to say, hey, just throw his ass in there after 2 years off, I don't think that's cool. Or I don't think that was the way to go. Okay, because, you have rustiness, you have age, right? And I think, and then you have competition, you have opposition. So you have a lot of these things that can play a factor, definitely, in this particular fight, you know, or with this particular fighter, rather. And you have Wilder fighting these guys that more than likely, you know, Wilder won't be, and listen, and people pay attention to this. People won't get off of Wilder's neck until Zhilei Zhang does that shit to the next fighter that he gets in there with. And then when he KOs the next fighter with that same punch, then people will finally, oh, I see now. This guy is also a killer. Okay? So, you know, Wilder, you know, everybody writes him off like a check, but mark my words. If Wilder comes back, if he redeems himself, he has a couple fights, you know, fighting smaller opposition, which a fighter needs after having a long layoff. He should have had 2 more fights before he fought Parker. You know what I'm saying? He should have had those fights before he fought Parker, because Parker had 3 of them before he fought Wilder. So what happens if they know how to put him in the ring with somebody, okay, not anybody, with somebody that builds his confidence back up, then he can compete like he should compete against guys like Zhang, guys like Parker. But of course, that goes to his career selection, but that doesn't mean that you're not a killer no more. You're just in there with other killers. So again, in closing, I think Malik Scott needs to understand that he needs to prove these guys wrong, the masses wrong, by getting Deontay Wilder where he needs to be. And I think Deontay Wilder needs this more than he ever needed it, because depression is a mother sucker. Heartbreak is a mother sucker. A lot of these things can crush you as a person. You know what I mean? We don't want to see Deontay Wilder looking like Tyson Fury, staggering out of bars. I don't want to see Deontay Wilder on that ashwagandha shit. Or ayahuasca shit, right? We want to see him on ashwagandha, because I take ashwagandha. But I don't want to see him doing that either, because I think that's a sign of something mental that happened to him. But anyway, you guys tell me what you think of Malik Scott's comments about him being the reason for Deontay Wilder not being a killer no more. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace!